What it do to all my free game people out there, man? You know what I'm saying? To all of my FNB people out there. So, I was looking at one of my old videos, and when I was looking at one of my old videos, it was talking about the internet and how it's its own consciousness. And I kind of want to revisit that because I was having a thought earlier about that shit, and it kind of just made me feel like I want to add some more to it and kind of, be more detailed. So, what I'm understanding as I've grown and I've paid attention a lot more is that that social media is its own reality in itself. That is its own reality that has its own beliefs attached to it, its own like morals and its own things that people may think to be right to do. You feel me? I believe one of the biggest things that cause it to have its own reality type of effect where things are acceptable on the internet that's not really acceptable in real life is the fact that there is likes and follows attached to things. Those likes and follows release dopamine, which then kind of reinforce whatever behavior you're partaking in. So ideas that even if the idea is wrong, and this is the craziest part about it, the more outrageous or even like I want to say ego based the thought is, the more views it get. You know what I'm saying? And then too, you get enough views, you're gonna find your crowd. The algorithm is gonna push it to people that think like you. You know what I'm saying? And see, ego-based thoughts and ego-based beliefs are extremely popular because as time went on and as social media has rose, our self-worth has gone down. So through yourself, I believe, this is just my belief, through self-worth going down, people are now replacing that self-worth with just immense ego. So then it's like, they think they're better than everybody. I have been included in this. I've had my moments where I felt this way as well. So through engaging with ego-based thoughts, promoting ego-based thoughts, and even putting out your own yourself, what happens is it reinforcing your brain what is acceptable. It makes you believe, because you see this on the internet, a lot of people like this thing, a lot of people are saying the same thing, and a lot of people believe the same thing to be true, at least in your perspective of it. You put in your mind that is what reality is. You say to yourself, well, this must be true. It has this many likes. It has this many shares. This many people are agreeing to this. This creates beliefs in your mind. And through creating those beliefs, it then affects your actions, which then affects your reality in real life. You see what I'm saying? So now, and I'm sure if enough people sit back and pay attention, enough people understand and recognize this, that now the internet reality in itself is taking control and taking over not taking over, I ain't gonna say that, but it's bleeding into real life. And you seeing people having ideas, perspectives and beliefs that they only was able to get through the internet. A lot of beliefs and perspectives are now strictly coming from the internet. They're not even necessarily coming from experiences. You know what I'm saying? And too, and this is like, I want to say this is like a small section of people. I don't know if this is a big majority of people, but also as well, there are even some people who are creating experiences through believing said thing. So through them believing this thing that they didn't see on the internet, they move a particular way, which then creates the experience to reinforce that belief. You know what I'm saying? You get the belief from online. Here's an example. Damn, I'm sorry for the burping. I've been burping all goddamn day. But here's an example. As let's say you a man who watch nothing but red pill content. So you now have, and if you don't know what red pill content is, it's just basically like, in my perspective of it, it's just like kind of like women talking, women this or men should be. It's a lot. It got some good points, but it's a lot of like just nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But it got its fair share of good points in too. But whatever the case, let's say you watch a bunch of red pill content, you know, as a young man, impressionable, and you have not had any experiences that can tell you if this shit is true or not. So you watch all this content. It has all these likes. It has all these shares. It has all these comments. You have people in the comments saying, oh, this is true. I experienced this. Hell yeah, I remember this. Ooh, blah, 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 blah. So then you start to believe that this is true. So because you believe that this is true, subconsciously, it seeped into your subconscious, it will always, in the ever so slightest way, affect your actions towards women now. To where now you automatically, even if you've never been cheated on, you could have never been cheated on, you automatically in your mind think, this hoe cheating. This girl cheating. I can't trust her. All women are bad. So you making little steps. And I'm not saying those little steps is going to force you to get cheated on. I don't know. I mean, but I believe that it is possible through you having that belief in your head that you will subconsciously take steps towards creating that reality in your real life, which then reinforce the belief, and then it's going to start a cycle where it's like this now. Because now you actually have the belief. Now it's actually what you think. To where now your actions are backed by an experience that was created from a belief that you've seen that set and seeped into your subconscious mind. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ideas that people have that have seeped in and grew into trees. I remember I made a video, y'all. If y'all ain't watched it, go check it out, where I said thoughts are like trees. And the reason that I say this is because a thought, you know what they say when they say you planting a seed, when that bitch grow into a tree, it has so many branches, and it bleeds over into other topics, because you start to attach things to this thought. See what I'm saying? So you can believe something, and that belief can create another belief, because you say to yourself, well, if this is true, this must be true as well, because them two are connected. See what I'm saying? So you have to understand where your thoughts come from, because you may not know that you may have so many beliefs that are all based off of one belief. Here's an example of a belief, multiple beliefs coming from one belief. And this not a false belief. This probably is a true one. The belief that the man should be the provider. You know what comes from that belief, that you believe, because you believe the man should be the provider, you should get your hair paid for. See what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to, you don't want to work. You shouldn't have to work. You see what I'm saying? That's another belief that's connected to that. A man should send you some money whenever you feel like, and I don't know if that one's true. That's a pretty crazy one. But also is another belief that stems from the base root seed idea that the man is the provider. That one base seed root idea created little other ideas, little branches of ideas that formed beliefs. And you got other thoughts, and it all stems from that general thought. You ever do like when you do like a paper in school, and they got the web and shit, and you got the main shit, and you got the other ideas that connect to it. That's how your thoughts can be. And these other ideas connect to this seed that was planted, and it grows into a tree. If the tree get too goddamn big, you want, sometimes if you don't have the mental capacity to, you may not be able to track where that thought came from or where this belief came from. My teacher told me this while I was here at the school. Shout out Miss Parnell. She told me, she was like, you tell a person's intelligence if they can tell you where their thoughts come from. See what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know why they believe certain shit. You know? And they don't live enough in a gray area to believe that maybe their beliefs are mistaken. Their perspective is skewed by biases. There's not a lot of people out there like that. See what I'm saying? So I understand that social media has created a reality in people's minds, which then are having people, that's why so many people acting crazy out this motherfucker. Like when it comes to like conflicting ideas, it's people that just can't handle the idea of somebody not agreeing with them. You know, these beliefs, you know, because even another thing that social media does, another belief that social media creates, is the belief of the way the world should be. Social media sells you a dream on the way the world should be based off of like things that aren't always necessarily true. Nobody should ever offend you. You can't say offensive things, or you can't say this and you can't say that because this may hurt these people, or this. That isn't reality, y'all. That it just ain't. We can't. None of us can be perfect. You see what I'm saying? So social media sells you this idea, and that's where I feel like cancel culture kind of came from. And if you believe it, would it be true? Because you believe that this is the way the world should be, and you thinking that there's a chance for it to get there without taking into account all the things. And it's not to say that the world can't be a great place. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain aspects of things that are, or certain aspects of beliefs that are promoted from social media that are just unrealistic and aren't, and also as well, it wouldn't even fully achieve the goal that they may be looking for. You know what I'm saying? So question your beliefs, man. Sit and ask yourself, why do you believe things? I remember I used to talk to this girl and she would tell me stuff. And when she would tell me ideas or she would tell me certain shit, I would ask her, like, where'd you hear that? Like where you hear that from? And I would Google it. She would be so mad at me, but I would be dead ass because it's like, I'm not trying to, I don't want you to believe something that may not be true. And I also don't want you to feel like that, I don't want you to be, just completely just believing shit, because you may not know. I don't know. And I don't be knowing. It's not, I ain't saying that where you hear it from, if Fez, I'm trying to shit on you. I'm saying it because I don't know. I ain't never heard that before. Where you hear that from? Who told you that? You hear that off TikTok or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna ask some questions. I asked my mama this shit too. So it ain't, it ain't no, I'm curious. Like, where'd you hear that from? Who told you this? You know what I'm saying? Because even myself, and I'm not gonna say I do this all the time, but I even try my best to, if I do get some shit off the internet, I say take it with a grain of salt. I could be tripping. I'd heard this here. I ain't do no research on it. Y'all do your own research. You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I'm gonna end it off. I don't want to talk y'all ear off. But yeah, check your beliefs, man. Ask yourself, why do I believe this, and why do I think this is true? Because you never know. You might be believing some shit because you didn't seen it on TikTok, and you don't even remember that that's where that belief stemmed from. You know what I'm saying? So, free game people, I love y'all. I'm out of here. Take care.